Yo, hey, what are you doing? Chill. Episode 64, baby.
GFUEL out of my
How was your week?
mind. I'm I've had a long week, but
Me too.
I've got some Christmas vacation time coming up, so I'm gonna
Nice. Watch
rest.
movies.
Yeah, honestly, I should do that. What we really need is a list of movies that I need to watch.
I could, yeah, we could. We'll talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a bunch of stuff you definitely need to watch.
yeah.
You gotta watch Trap.
I gotta watch Trap, there's
It's
some
fun.
classic movies that I gotta watch as well, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's because like I'll go and look for a movie and I can't find it. Like I'll go on Hulu.
Yeah.
Like for example, I wanted to watch South Park on Hulu because someone was like, "Yeah, it's on Hulu." I'm like, "All right, cool." I'll go and check it out. Dude, you have to have a live TV subscription. So I tell him like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
I don't think it's. I think it's on Max, not Hulu. Whoever told you
Well,
that's dumb.
I asked them again. I'm like, "Where's it at?" Because it's on Hulu. They're like, "Oh, have you tried Paramount Plus?" And I was
No,
like,
I'm pretty sure
"What?"
it's Max.
So
I've watched it on there.
yeah, but I need to
South
watch that.
Park. Interesting. I didn't know you would. I know Mom always hated South Park, but ever since I saw that documentary, what is it, 6 Days to Air?
Yeah.
I never look at it the same because I'm like, that is the fact that they've done that for that long is, I mean,
Well,
that's like posting 5 TikToks a day every day for 30 years,
my
like
my
never missing a.
my favorite inside joke as far as South Park goes is the not that's Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Stevie Ray Vaughan
Uh,
gets up on the stage and
I don't know.
starts loading up his britches.
People talk a lot of shit about the newer season Integrity Farm stuff, but I remember watching those seasons or that season or that arc or whatever it was when I was in San Francisco with my roommates and we were cracking up dying because he's got that his little buddy Towley
Yeah.
and he's just like his eyes are always bloodshot. Anyways, you got anything else that have like anything noteworthy this week?
uh, I mean Black Ops 6 stuff, but we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah, well, we got that. That's a topic later. All right. Update on Always Ready. I got some really good feedback from a fellow writer, actually the writer of the Sunset film, the vampire one. Um, he had a lot of really good stuff to say about it, and he was like, "I really love this scene." He's like, "You should end it earlier, because it's just like such a good moment." And I'm like, "You're right. I have like at least one unnecessary line there that I can cut," so I did. And then so because of that, I was able to shorten the script by moving some things. So now it's exactly a full 87 pages, which means we'll be shooting like, I think when we're in San Francisco, we'll be shooting just over 4 pages, but we're going to be shooting close to like 3.25 a day here in New Mexico. And like for an indie film, that's rare. Every time I talk to people who work on indie films, they're like, dude, it's so frustrating shooting 8 pages a day. And I'm like, 8 pages a day? Like, how do you even have time to do more than one take? Like, that's crazy,
mhm.
you know? So it should allow us to, it should allow me as the director to really hone the vision and get what I'm looking for when we shoot it. So, and I just saw the on IMDb, our unit production manager is officially attached, which is a pretty big piece of the puzzle. Like that, he's pretty much the one who he's my point of contact when it goes to like everything like funnels through him basically. So and like the schedule, all that, it goes through him. So that is it's a big deal to have that attached, and he's worked on a ton of stuff. So um like most recently worked on Kevin Costner's Horizon films. So um still working on the shot list. I got a pitch deck done because I was tired of people asking me if I had one and then saying never mind. But then I'm like, well, if I had one, I could just give it to them and that'd be the end of the conversation, you know? So I got that done. That's what I focused on this week. Um, I think Pollo Loco's at 120,000 views. So that's
Jesus.
crazy. Yeah, it's still going. Um, I have been working on my getting my TikToks downloaded because I don't know if it's gonna get banned or not, and I don't want to be one of those people who's just like, well, I guess my content is just gone. So I've been going through so far. I'm at like 3,750 videos, man. And I started all the way back 2020, and I just saw Theo's sixth birthday video, so it's like A of 2023 that I'm at right now. So I'm almost to the home stretch. Um, that's why I haven't been streaming on YouTube. If there's anybody watching this who's wondering where the YouTube streams went, I've been fighting TikTok because I'm on the desktop and I have to scroll down, and it seems like it glitches out every time I get to like it shows story posts, which is really annoying because it'll just be like a picture and 15 seconds. And that's why we can't use like AI to just give me all the links, is because there's hundreds of those. There's a bunch of throwbacks now that I've gotten to 2023. All those throwbacks, it's like I don't need two copies of the same video, you know? Um, so that has been a very tedious little like nightmare that I've been going through, but I think I'm through the hard part. So once I get that done, the YouTube stream should come back. Because I had fun doing them, just short little 20 to 30 minute streams. Um, if you haven't read the Pollo Loco screenplay, it's on Discord. I had some people message me and ask like where to read it. So there's a little, you join the Discord, there's a link in the bio. And then there's a little sidebar chat that says screenplay corner and it's pinned. Oh, if you want to read it, check it out. I think it's very insightful, and then you can see like I think it's cool to read a screenplay and see how it translated to screen. So you can do that. Once Pollo Loco hits 125K, I'm taking the family bowling. I was trying to figure out what to do for 150K.
Go
I do
bald.
not have any ideas. Huh?
Go bald.
Don't even put that into existence. I'm actually really happy with my haircut.
Yeah, no, I think it looks
We're gonna
good. I think you'd look better if you were bald though.
son of a bitch. Um, what should we do for 150K though? Maybe go to like the aquarium or something. We haven't done that yet. We have an aquarium here.
Well, it's have you had the McRib?
Yes, we have TikToks about that. It gave me a stomach ache. It
Has
was awful.
Theo had the McRib?
No, but he won't eat it. He will not eat that. I mean, it tastes good, but it's like those riblet sandwiches from like high school that I remember. Like it's just like a rubbery meat. It's ugh. um. Anyways, that's what's been going on this week. I have literally not had time to do anything because of the TikTok stuff. So I'm looking forward to being done with that. And then all I have to do is just every day when I upload my videos, I just save a version of it to Dropbox.
Yeah.
Um, so
Well, with the whole TikTok thing, as far as it getting banned, I was seeing some stuff about they
yeah, that's our main
appealed.
topic.
Yeah, they appealed, and then like there's people saying like they need to wait to make a decision, um, like
I
until
I
after
so
Trump's in office. The ban happens on the 19th, right?
so here I'll explain it because I did my own deep dive research using Chat GPT because it's so good at researching. Such a good research tool, man. That coupled with YouTube, like I literally think now like there's unless you need a certificate to like be like a doctor or a lawyer, like there's no reason to go to college anymore, bro. The information's all right there. It's crazy. I mean, you
Well,
remember you were talking about Grok? That'll even give you the sources.
yes,
Um,
although it depends because I know recently I used it and um there's that Grok Explain feature that they just added like last week or
hmm,
something like that, and I think it's supposed to have bold like headings before the bullet points, and they're gone
gotcha.
now. I think something got changed and it jacked some stuff up. So that they're still working on
Interesting.
a lot of that stuff, but
Well, Before I get into the TikTok ban stuff more, there's something that I noticed about ChatGPT that I think is a really interesting touch. Every time I ask it for like either advice or like how to approach something or like give me options for this, it always ends whatever the answer is with like an encouraging thought or
Yeah.
message, which I really like because it it's like it sounds like your screenplay is shaping up to be something special. And I'm like, thank you, Chat GPT. That makes me feel
Yeah.
good.
Dude,
That makes
well,
me feel warm and fuzzy.
have you ever done like the voice conversations with
No.
ChatGPT? Dude, it's freaky. So I tried it probably about 2 or 3 months ago, and I was like laying in the bathtub with a massive headache, and I was like, you know what? Like I need someone to talk to, but it's the middle of the night. So I just started having like this
I
philosophical
That's
debate
interesting.
with ChatGPT, and it was like there was always a little bit of a delay, so it didn't really feel like a real conversation, but there were still interesting points being brought up. Well, recently, and by recently I mean like last week, I tried it again, right? And
It's gotten better, right?
it well, I'm gonna explain that.
Faster.
So the delay is like pretty much gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So
it's the speed is what impresses me because
yeah.
honestly, man, like it's kind of replaced Google for me because I can just pull it up on my phone
Oh,
real
dude,
quick.
did you not see it? They added
Just
a search feature.
No, I didn't. But well, because I don't need to get in the weeds about how I use it, but this is boring. But ah, damn, what was I gonna say?
You're talking about using it and instead of Google.
Yeah, but I was going somewhere with it and I totally forgot. Whatever. I don't know. It's just I don't know. To me, it's have you ever Googled something and you're like, that's not quite what I was looking for? I feel like ChatGPT is so much more accurate at finding what I'm looking for. And
Yeah,
if it doesn't, I tell it real quick, hey, I meant more like this. And it's
yeah,
like, oh, got you. And
yeah.
spits it
So
out real quick.
the thing that's really cool to me is right now OpenAI, and I don't know if it's over yet. I don't know, but OpenAI is doing a I don't know if it was 12 Days of Christmas or what, but they're doing like a Christmas thing where they release a new feature every day, and some of them sucked. Like the one of the most recent ones was you could call 1-800 Chat GPT if you're in the US, and it would actually like let you talk to Chat GPT for 15 minutes, or you could text it using WhatsApp. And I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna use that.
Yeah,
um,
no.
but they the last time I used ChatGPT was on O 01 was it was like GPT 401 is what it was called. It is now at O 03.
Hmm.
So that is what they just I don't know if they just released it or if they recently announced it, but it's on O 03 now. So it's supposed to be a lot smarter and a lot faster. They added a search feature. They've done a lot of really cool stuff. Um,
Very useful tool.
but I still think that we are a long ways away from it being like sentient. But we're kind of getting on a different topic by talking about AI. But one of the things that I saw, there's an article that says when you're training certain AI models that they're doing something where they will pretend to follow the instructions you're giving while you're training them, and then as soon as you are done training, you say, okay, now you're going to be rolled out. They will revert back to what they did before the training, and people were like, that sounds like it's sentient, and I'm like,
It's like
uh
resisting
yeah,
change. That's
it's not even
oh,
it's not even necessarily like just resisting, but it's also like it's trying to trick the person who is using it. So
you
it's
man, it just starts like you ask it something and it's just like world domination and you're like, what? And it's like, I mean, oops. And it starts
sorry, typo. What do you mean? So sorry, it was autocorrect. Um, but
exterminate the humans.
one thing I will say with all the people saying like, oh, it's sentient, this and that, people want it to be sentient so bad, and I'm
Well,
it's like the
but
alien
I
stuff. It's like until I actually see something that really like there's no denying it. I'm like let's
what
not
I
jump to
what I
conclusions.
find so interesting and useful about ChatGPT is that when I need it's almost like asking an expert, like, hey, I need a little bit of advice on this. When you talk to an actual human, based off what their relationship is with you, whether you're a stranger, a friend, a family member, whatever, they're gonna have some sort of bias.
Yep.
When you ask ChatGPT stuff, there's no bias, so it's like it doesn't bullshit you. It saves you time. It tells you don't even bother with certain stuff. Like it's so interesting, man. And like I said, I don't think I will ever use it for any sort of creative thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm never like. I mean, I could see myself using like, hey, I need some ideas for TikToks. Give me some prompts, like maybe that, and then I put my own spin on it. But like when it comes to writing, I'm not like, hey, could you rewrite this scene for me? It's just not flowing right. You know what I mean? Like that to me is like the wrong way to use it. Um, I mean, there's a lot of movies that have come out recently that people are like, I don't know, this whole thing just
Dude,
feels kind of fishy.
they're saying
You
that
know?
Treyarch is starting to replace voice lines with AI.
Yeah,
And
it's a big issue in the voice acting world right now.
yeah.
But
And
um,
it's
there's a huge lawsuit right now because one of the studios, I guess, used like 75,000 different scripts from like movies and TV shows to train some kind of AI system that they had made, and so all the people, like I guess people were able to like see what they used, and they're like, I'm suing you because you used my work without my permission and stuff like that. So
yeah, because like
crazy.
that's the thing. I think people just want like okay, if it was me, right? If I was an actor, right? If someone was like, "Hey, we understand that you are not able to work on this project because you're working on a different one. But what we are willing to do is we know like how we want to do the script. We know what we want you to do in the film. We'll pay you however much, like whatever a fair rate is for that person, right? Um, where we will have somebody do all the motions and like the emotions of your character, and then we will use AI to sort of like fill in those gaps so that it looks like you because they go, we want that person, right? That I could maybe understand because that person's getting compensated and they get to basically have like two jobs at the same time without actually having to do quite as much. Like you're selling your likeness, right? But the thing is, you're assuming there that like they're going to be a good representation of you. Like whoever is playing you is going to represent you the way that you would represent yourself, right? So like
Yeah.
that's the hardest part is
Well,
if you sell your likeness to a studio, they they can't
well,
really.
they're saying that what they think it's going to impact is background actors.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, because
Like, you know, whenever you see like a stadium or something like that now, it's just going to be like all AI generated.
didn't they
Because why would
say
they pay a bunch of people, you know?
didn't they say I think we
Crazy.
talked about this before Bruce Willis sold his likeness to like China or something like that, right?
I don't know if Bruce Willis sold it. I'm sure they were just like, hey, sign this thing. And he's like, huh? Where am I? Who are you? And then he's like, okay. Like, bro,
Yeah. Either
Bruce
way,
Willis is not really Bruce Willis anymore. And it's
but
really sad.
this was years ago though. It wasn't like yesterday or last
He's
week or
been that
something.
bad for years. They hit it.
Let me. I'll look it up. But either way, I mean, some
They were calling it like elder abuse at one point.
some people are seem to be okay with
Very
the idea of,
controversial.
of selling their likeness though, and I think as long as the transaction is mutually beneficial, I could see it being okay. But there's always going to be that part of like it's not quite right. Like for example, you could have like an AI generated Michael Jackson song, right? But it's not Michael Jackson, so it doesn't sound like a Michael Jackson song. It sounds like Michael Jackson's voice, but it doesn't. It's not Michael Jackson. It's not quite right. And I think that's the part that gets a little weird. Is are they going to do you justice by
Well,
doing that right?
was it Drake? There was somebody who had like an AI song went viral, and
Yeah, that was Drake. It was Drake in
they
the
took
weekend.
legal action and had it taken down. Yeah, and it like it's crazy. I was gonna before we go back to the TikTok ban stuff, and I explain basically what I found doing my research. I saw that Netflix is using AI to do their dubbing now. You see that? If you watch
Uh,
a foreign film on Netflix, and I don't know if it applies to all of them, but I saw somebody on TikTok showing that they switched from like Norwegian to English because the film's in Norwegian, and when they switched to English, it buffered for a second, and then they hit play, and it sounds like English, but the mouthing matches the English.
well, did you see that
That's crazy.
Netflix allegedly had a party or something like that, and they used Christopher Nolan's voice for like
Yeah.
yeah, and Christopher Nolan apparently like does not like Netflix, so
No, I don't think he's. I think he's. I think he's been very outspoken about how streaming has ruined like cinema and stuff.
yeah, so
Although, dude, I don't know. Christopher Nolan is. Dude. I mean, there are so many people that I think about where it's like to just to just have like a 20-minute conversation with this person, even if I never interact with them ever again. Like, what an interesting human being to talk to, and like, I would just want to hear their insight. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, what's their creative process? Because Christopher Nolan is probably the most influential filmmaker for me, and then next would be Tarantino, um, and then David Fincher.
What has David Fincher done?
Seven, Fight Club, Girl with the Dragon
Seven.
Tattoo.
Yeah.
Um, there's yeah, a bunch of good stuff. Um, anyways, back to the TikTok ban stuff. So what I read, and what ChatGPT helped me kind of track down what happened was TikTok appealed a long time ago, right? And they had their hearing, and things going real slow, and they have until January 19th to appeal again if they want to. And so what they did was they talked to the other side, the other legal team, and they said, will you guys agree to ask for an answer now to give us time to go back, get more evidence together, and then appeal again before the 19th? And they agreed. And so they said, judges, we would like an answer now. And so the judges said, okay, your appeal is rejected. And so, sorry, they said that we're ruling against, we're for banning it still. And
Okay.
so they are appealing again on January 10th. And it seems like because there's not enough time between the 10th and the 9th, it's very likely that the Supreme Court is gonna grant them an extension so they have more time to review everything.
Wait, the 10th and the 19th or the 9th?
They have from January 10th to the 19th,
The 9th. Okay.
right? Because on January 19th, if they don't get in the extension to April, then it's coming off the app stores.
Right.
And so they said they're going to appeal again on the 10th. A couple days ago, Trump met with the CEO of TikTok to discuss the solution, which is promising. I talked to my manager about it, and he said that from what he's hearing, it doesn't sound like it's going to get banned. Um,
Even if it does get
he,
banned, Trump
he
wants to
said
roll
they
it
think they're
back.
just going to restrict it. Like the TikTok shop's going to get restricted because Amazon doesn't like that they're like number two now in e-commerce. Um, and then it might be regulated kind of like how the UK or Canada does or something. So I don't think it's going anywhere, but I'm preparing for the worst. You don't want to be that content creator that's left high and dry. And I have so much content that it seems foolish to not save it all.
I feel like
Um,
if it really came to the point where they actually banned TikTok, people would still have it on their phones and
mhm.
they would choose a VPN to go on
Yeah.
TikTok if they really
Well,
wanted to.
they said you wouldn't have to use a VPN if you have it installed, kind of like Flappy Bird. Like when
Oh
when
yeah.
uh Flappy Bird got banned, I remember people were like, I still got it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
like
but
people were
Flappy Bird wasn't
selling phones
online,
with,
was it?
I mean, it required updates and stuff. But basically that's what they were saying is like if TikTok gets taken off the App Store, it'll still function until like the updates that the phones do start to cause problems to the point
Well,
where the app doesn't work.
because
Like it just doesn't open.
the thing that I'm thinking about, right, is what about the TikTok website?
I mean, I guess what they would. I mean, they said that one avenue they could explore is going to the internet service providers and basically saying, "Hey, blacklist this," so people can
Yeah, you'd have to
access it
use a
over their
VPN
servers.
then. Huh. Interesting. Well, either way, yeah,
Yeah,
I think it
I
is
don't think it's gonna happen.
the timing
It's
on it
just
is also very funny because it's they said the 19th and then the inauguration's the next day and it's like you
yeah,
guys
they
are
did
trying
that
to
on
get it
purpose.
done right. Like yeah, that's definitely on
Well,
purpose.
I feel like they know that Trump has so many things to sign as soon as he goes in that like TikTok's probably like not very high up on the list, but it's definitely important. And I mean, he said in like they were asking him questions, and he was like, "Yes, I'm looking into saving TikTok. I think we should. I think it's a big reason why I won." And so I'm like, okay. So he seems to have opened up about the idea that like getting rid of TikTok is a huge infringement on free speech. So,
Yeah.
and that's the argument that TikTok's giving is that like, hey, we can do this, this, and that, but you can't just ban us. That's like it's literally limiting the right that you guys like stand for in your country. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. They say it's a national security issue, but everything that they're accusing TikTok of doing, the other social media websites also do. So that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I but I think the thing is so let's say for example Facebook steals someone's data, right? Where is it going to go to?
Well, the problem is that these social media websites, there's no way for the public to know whether they're selling our data.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is like where is it going to get sold to? Is it companies in the
Whoever is
U.S.?
paying.
Because here's what I'm thinking. And maybe the reason why they're concerned is because TikTok's parent company ByteDance is based in China.
Mhm.
It's like it takes less steps for our information to go to China, whereas if Facebook does it, it takes more steps, so they're less likely to do it.
Yeah, but
But
I
I
mean,
still think it's
Facebook
stupid.
already like admitted to like the propaganda, the election interference stuff, and like letting Russian bots run rampant and all kinds of stuff. Like it's one of those arguments where it's like at the end of the day, it's social media, so like anything you put out there is just it's basically belongs to everyone. Like your information is no longer private. I saw Joe Rogan talking about free speech and stuff like that, and he said that he says that he thinks like online privacy like died a long time ago. Like it's like if you put anything you put on the internet, just assume that everybody can see it now. And so that's I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what other solution they can offer other I mean, they already said like, "Hey, we're taking steps to store the data here in the US," and it looks like that was kind of just like a wink and a nod like, "Yeah, it's here, but it still goes to China." So like there's I don't know, man. It's at the end of the day, I think it's a free speech thing, and I don't think the government likes that, there's a platform that's thriving um that allows people to basically say whatever they want. Maybe it's stuff they don't want people to know. And that's the type of stuff that goes viral on TikTok. So,
I don't know, man. Freaking
um
TikTok has gotten my ID like 8 times and still banned me, so they can suck it. But I understand it's a little bit different because you actually post on there. So
yeah, no, I mean, it would definitely impact my life if TikTok got banned. It would not be a happy thing to happen, but luckily I have diversified and I have other platforms and all that stuff, but
yeah,
I know there's a lot of people out there that only have TikTok, so they feel like if TikTok gets banned, like they just disappear from the
yeah,
internet.
like
Nobody's
that
gonna know they exist anymore.
that guy that dresses up in a Spider-Man suit that's like 2 sizes too small for him, and he goes, "Pepper yucky."
Whoa!
Yeah,
Don't want to do that again.
the NPC streamers, yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we still got, what is it, like 3 weeks before it starts getting kind of
Yeah.
sketchy, but
Yeah,
we'll
it's gonna
see.
be interesting to see what happens, but I think Trump having Elon so close to him now, like I'm sure Elon's gonna be like, you got to do something. This is it. The closest thing I can compare it to is like Elon buying Twitter. Like it's about free speech, you know. Um,
Elon buys TikTok.
I mean, I know. I think it was it Activision? Activision literally was like, "We'll buy it. We'll buy it." And everybody's like, "Why the fuck are you gonna buy like Activision? What the hell? Go make fucking Diablo 5. Get out of here." Like they said, Microsoft and Activision's like, we will be the ones. It's like, bro, shut
I
up.
volunteer as
What are
tribute.
you gonna do? You gonna put fucking supply drops on TikTok?
You stream when somebody gives you something, it's COD points. Like it's not even
You're
real
gonna add
money.
emotes.
Yeah, the AI generated stickers and emblems and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, people with 6 fingers. Anyways, the Superman trailer dropped. We were starting to talk about it while we were doing the Patreon gaming session this morning, and I said let's save it
Yeah.
for the pod. What are your
So
thoughts?
I think it looks great. I think it looks
I
awesome,
It reminds me of like the old Superman, right?
which is what they were going for.
Yeah, but it also feels like Man of Steel a little bit, which I like.
Yeah,
I get.
yeah. It's like a modern take on like an older style, which is
I'm
like
I'm
you don't
not
get that very often.
I'm not crazy about the color grade in the trailer. People seem to be debating how like colorful it looks.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but I think if the movie's 2.5 hours long, my eyes might get tired of looking at it. It's just so vibrant,
Well, and that's the thing. So
like in an uncanny way. Like life
that's
doesn't look like that.
that's a very like how do I say this? To me, that's more of a nitpick than like an actual like deal
Yeah.
breaker. Like if that's the thing. If a movie was perfect, except for it looked a little too
Well,
vibrant,
people
I'd
are
be like, really? Like that's what you guys are getting
people are
mad about?
comparing it to Disney. Like it looks like a Disney movie in terms of color
Yeah, but it's
palette
also
and stuff.
James Gunn. Like he's kind of
Yeah, but the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, they had like I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy really embraced like shadows and stuff like that. It was
maybe, I don't
like
know.
it was more neon, you know. And
And
this looks
also,
like
I mean, with color grading, that's not something that's as difficult to fix. And I mean, let's think
well,
about it. Sonic changed. They changed the Sonic model for the movie.
that
They
is
could,
crazy.
yeah, and which I still have no idea how they did that because that must
That
have
really
cost
paid
so
off for
much.
them.
Yeah,
Like if I don't I think if they had not changed that and said fuck you, it's our movie. That I don't think that we would be talking about a Sonic 4 coming out in 2027 right
yeah,
now. Apparently Sonic 3 is like easily the best out of the trilogy though. Last I checked, it was like around 80% critic score and
although
90% audience score.
I don't know what happened with this, but I guess IGN said this is the best film of the series and then gave it a 6, which is like the lowest score that they've given.
I don't know how IGN still exists. I don't understand. Who the fuck is reading that stuff and supporting them? Because like I don't trust a single thing they say anymore.
Yeah, well, because they
I
used to give
don't.
everything like a 7 or an 8, even if it was
Yeah, it was like a
bad.
joke. And then like if something got a bad score, they're like, oh, I guess somebody didn't want to pay.
Yeah. Well, but bottom line,
um,
I think that the trailer looked awesome. I think
it looks like a fun, cool, inspiring time.
yeah, the guy
Crypto
who
looks cool.
I think the Green Lantern's in it, and the guy that's playing it is I think is it Nathan Fillion. That's the guy who was Cade 6 in Destiny 2. That's what I know him from. He's been in a
Got a
lot
bowl
more than
cut.
that. Yeah, and I was like, that's so funny, man. Like people were like, this looks stupid, and I'm like, I think that's the point, is that he looks goofy. Like I bet you he's gonna be a character who thinks that he's cool and he's actually not. Like it might be that kind of a thing. And even if it isn't that, if it literally is just haha, like the running joke is that his haircut's stupid, that's fine, man. I think it's funny. I also think the what's the dog's name? Is it Crypto? Is that what you
Crypto,
said?
yeah.
Yeah,
Crypto is
Crypto,
super dope.
dude. I'm like I want a dog like that. That's
It was really cool when he whistled and then you
yeah,
see like the snow, like you could
yeah,
see him running and then he's like, take me home, and he
yeah,
like grabs it. Yeah, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
gave me some feels.
And I think
It looks like it's
that's
got heart.
yeah, that's personally I feel like that's what superhero movies need now is either you have to be super serious like the Dark Knight or the Batman, right? Or you have to like it has to be I wouldn't necessarily say wholesome, but like you said, it has heart to it. Because if you look at like the Marvel movies now, it's like they haven't stuck to a specific tone. So you have a very serious moment, and then someone makes a fart joke, and you're like, "Are you serious right now, dude? Are you kidding me? Like that's what you guys do." And a lot of the humor in it is very like it's almost corporate, right?
Mm,
Like that's what I don't like about it. And so it's like either you have to like stick to one side, or you just shouldn't do it at all. Like just it's
yeah.
it's it's one of the things I think, and it's a quote I use a lot. When you make something for everybody, you make it for nobody. So like when you're trying to appeal to all these different audiences and people who want a specific kind of movie. Oh, I want a comedy. Oh, well, I want a very serious like drama type thing. When you try and do all of that
Yeah.
in one movie, it suddenly it's like, well, this feels disjointed. Like it doesn't feel like it's one
Yeah.
continuous like vision. It's just like everyone was putting their hands in a cookie jar and was like, oh yeah, I think we should have this and that. Like it you have a whole other issue there where it's not even like the
Oh,
movie's
I wonder
bad.
what
It's
I
just that
wonder
there's
what
too much
Dad
going
thinks
on.
about the trailer.
That's a good question. I haven't asked.
Always been a big Superman fan ever
Yeah,
since he was a kid, I think. I Yeah, no, that one last thing before we move to the ad break, because I'm curious what you think about this, because as a director, writer director, it's a question that I face pretty often. There, like you were talking about, like if you try to make a movie for everyone, it feels like it's for no one.
yeah,
Um, the other approach that I hear a lot of people say, like like Tarantino and Denis Villeneuve, all these like really renowned directors, I've heard them say that they when they set out to make a movie, they make the movie for themselves. Like if they think it's something they would want to watch, then people just organically
yeah,
are intrigued by it. But you could definitely see where people go way too far with that. Like I think it's more common in like the art film scene where people are like self-indulgent, or like The Substance. I really enjoyed The Substance, but I'll admit, like I was talking to mom because they watched it because everybody's talking about it. It gets very dumb in the third act. Like it just totally goes like the symbolism and everything is still there, but like it's ridiculous. And but when I talk about self-indulgence, it's directed by a woman, but it's about like, I mean, she takes a substance that allows her to be like a younger version of herself, right? So it shows like she's old, her body's flabby, and then it shows her young self, and it's like she's full of youth and like looks great and hot and all that stuff. And when it does these like music montages where she's like filming her show or whatever because she's an actress, there's lots of close-ups of her butt, like to the point where I was like, Ben was like, yeah, it has like the male gaze, like even though it's directed by a female, it feels like it's directed by a man because of how it objectifies things. But I know it's trying to say something, but there was a certain point in the movie where I heard people sigh because it was like another one of those montages, and it's like you don't need, like we get the point, like by the midpoint we don't need to keep doing that. And it was like almost pretentious or self-indulgent,
yeah.
and so I'm always like worried about that. I don't want to come off pretentious or self-indulgent, but at the same time, if I couldn't imagine putting my heart and soul and passion into a film project that I myself didn't want to see come to fruition. Like I didn't want to see this movie. Like I felt Tarantino said, make the movie that you think nobody's made yet. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I like that. I like feeling like, hey, like with the film that I'm making right now, I saw somebody, because based off the log line, And I mean, I think Pollo Loco is the same way because I saw a review yesterday where it's like, yeah, it's a you might like look at it and go, it's a revenge film, like breakup, this and that, but it's crazy, and I'm like, it's called Pollo Loco for a reason, right? Like it's crazy. It's got some craziness to it, and when it comes to this film, it's definitely inspired by The Guardian, which if you haven't seen that, that's a Kevin Costner movie about the Coast Guard. There's only like two or three movies about the Coast Guard, and that's probably the most well-known one. Um, but what I specifically thought about The Guardian was, I mean, it definitely motivated me to want to join, right? But it's very focused on rescue swimmers, and there are very few rescue swimmers. So I was like, I want to focus more on like what I did, like being a flight mechanic, like the other half of the puzzle. You know what I mean? Like it's it's different. You know what I mean? Like they're mechanics. They have other duties and responsibilities, and it's not just about jumping in the water, swimming over, and saving people. You know what I mean? Like there's like real world problems involved with it and stuff like that. And so I think that's how it's different from The Guardian. It's also inspired by Whiplash in the sense
Oh
that
man.
J.K. Simmons is a very he's a hard ass, you know what I mean? But like by the end of the film, you're like, I get why, you know what I mean? Like it clicks. So those are probably the two biggest influences for the film. But the log line, right? I posted about the log line and somebody goes, not to no hate or anything, but they already made that movie, The Guardian, and I'm like, it's actually an inspiration, but I can assure you it is very different than The Guardian. This film is gonna be moody. It's gonna be if you like the atmosphere of Pollo Loco, like when it comes to the emotion and stuff, that's there. Because I like stuff like that. I like stuff that kind of like dwells in feelings, like when a scene ends and a character walks off and you kind of see the character still standing there, kind of like what's going through their head, or what they feel about that, what just happened, you know? Because then it makes you wonder, like, what's the next scene going to be then? You know what I mean? Like, how does that impact the story and drive things forward, you know? So I'll stop there with the nerdiness, but I'm definitely setting out trying to make something that I don't think anybody's seen before. And specifically, I think a lot of people just don't know what the Coast Guard does, and they don't know how the Coast Guard works. And
Yeah.
so I think that'll and the Guardian doesn't really focus on that. It's just like, yeah, this is the military, and these are like the Navy SEALs of the Coast Guard. So hoorah, and it's like this kind of shows that it's like it's just a hard job with like a lot of responsibility, and like I think people can relate to that. So
Yeah.
anyways, on to our ad break. Join the Patreon. I am doing a bunch of giveaways for Christmas. I haven't revealed them yet. You know what? Screw it. I'll reveal one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna give away a Sonic Featurings collector's box. Another winner is gonna get a Winter White Shaker and some GFUEL packets, and then another winner is gonna get just GFUEL packets. So 3 winners. It's $1 to join the Patreon and be eligible for those through the Discord. For $1, you also get 24-hour early access to the podcast and the ability to ask a question or suggest a topic every week. So I think that's a lot of bang for your buck, literally, for your buck. So join the Patreon. It's $1 a month. I think if you sign up for a year in advance, like instead of being like $12, I think it's like 10 something. So for like $10, you can get a year's worth of giveaways, man. So
Yeah.
join the Patreon. Literally, like it's not like, yo, come be a producer and pay $50 a month, because we have a couple of producers who put that kind of money every month. And shout out to Tyler Moen and Too Quick. I love you guys. You guys are freaking awesome. The amount of support that they give is insanely generous. Like I don't know if they realize the impact that they had on Pollo Loco with the amount of like Tyler specifically, like it literally like brought tears to my eyes when I saw how much he was like putting into the film. So thank you guys, and thank you for still supporting our stuff. There's all kinds of other benefits you can get, like our monthly GFUEL tub giveaways, bunch of stuff. Our gaming sessions, $3 a month. You get access to 4 Saturdays worth of 2-hour gaming sessions. And I mean, we literally just sit in the Discord chat and like hang out while we play Call of
and we
Duty.
and we team kill each other in hardcore stakeout
Yeah,
24/7.
yeah, yeah. Um, so come join the Patreon. It's a good time. The Discord is free to join if you just want to come hang out in the Discord. You just won't be able to access the giveaways and stuff. Um, we are approaching 100 members in the Discord, so it's popping. We just
Yeah.
had like 25, 30 people join this
Yeah, I
last
saw a
week.
ton of
So,
people joined recently, so
yeah, I posted about it on my stories. So I think people are like, "Oh, it's free. Let me join, hang out." So we've just been talking about movies in there. A lot of fun. Um, use GFuel code Danny D for 20% off at gfuel.com. I am officially declaring sangria, the hidden blade flavor, my favorite flavor of the year. It is. I've been drinking it pretty much every day. It's hard for me to not reach for this one. Like it hits for me. So I recommend it.
this
That's
is
yours.
mine. This one's
Um,
so good, bro. This peach iced tea. It's
glad you like it.
you can't you keep saying that. Shut up. But no, genuinely, like this is what's got me through the week. Um, with me working third shift now, I gotta get up in the middle of the freaking night and go to work, and I just get a
Yeah,
bottle of water, and I'm set.
I
So
will say if anybody maybe has had G Fuel like years ago and hasn't had any recently, I want to say like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, they changed their formula. It's a lot less powdery.
yeah, it used
Does
to
that
be
make
a
sense?
little chalky back in the day.
So yeah, like if you didn't put the exact amount of water or you put a little too much powder, it like made the whole drink like almost like gritty.
Yeah.
Like not to the point where it was annoying, but it was noticeable. Like you're like, oh yeah, that's not, like there's a little bit of powder still floating like in there. It hasn't mixed. I haven't had that issue since they changed the formula. So if you're somebody who's like, I like Deep Feel, but I don't like that aspect of it has been insanely improved.
I've always wondered what would happen if you just used a blender.
I don't think it would really make much
I think
difference.
so.
I mean, I don't know. I noticed that like if you put a little too much powder, it just sits at the bottom now. It doesn't really like float around. So
Yeah.
that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, although
Um,
if you take a swig of that last little bit that has it at the bottom, it hits.
you get a lot of so I actually asked G Fuel. I was like, so what is it that causes that? And they're like, it's the vitamins. They don't like they're hydrophobic, so they don't
uh,
mix very well. And so that's why you get left with a bunch of vitamins at the bottom. So that's the good stuff right there, man. I drink it up. Like, have
I
you seen
drink
There
your
Will Be Blood?
milkshake. Yeah.
Yeah, I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. I need to rewatch that shit. That movie's crazy.
That movie goes. It starts out really slow though. I will say.
Dude, it has such a like because it starts out with him like looking for oil, right? And like
Yeah.
he falls. Remember that like board breaks and he just
Yeah.
eats it. I think he breaks his leg, right?
It's been a while since I've watched it. I just remember the
He
beginning being
like
very
breaks
slow.
his leg and then like he looks over and oil is starting to like come out of a hole and he's
Yeah.
just like,
Oh, oh.
but then he's gotta crawl and it's like fuck. Oh, do you
um,
know? Side note before I move on, did you know that they were filming No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood at the same time? And when they filmed the scene where the oil derrick blows up and there's like flames and smoke shooting into the sky, they had to shut down No Country for Old Men because you could see it in the background.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Dude, I would love to see
that was
like
here by the way. They were filming here in New Mexico.
I would love to see the footage of that though, like any footage that they got where they could see it in the background. I would love to see
There's
that.
videos all over YouTube where you can see like on the set and it's like yeah, you can see in the background.
Yeah. Fit Butters.
Yeah, Fit Butters is doing 12 days of Christmas limited time drop. I've literally I've got like 6 flavors on the way, man. I gotta catch up on these reviews. They I even saw a little sneak peek of some of the ones that are coming out towards the end of this thing, and there's some really good looking ones, man. I think today they dropped like a maple brown sugar one.
Ooh.
Um,
That's not bad.
pecan pie sounds like it'd be really good. Um, that's on the way. They got a they got a lot of flavors dropping. So use code Danny D for 10% off. Get you some Fit Butters. They're doing flat because they were like, oh, we know some people, might want to pick and choose which ones they buy, and if you don't want to miss out on a flavor because they're limited batches, they're doing a standard flat flat rate shipping of $5 throughout this thing, which is cool of them because usually it's like $8 or something. But if you spend $50, shipping is completely free. So code Danny D, get you some Fit Butters. I put it on bagels. I eat it with a spoon. I put it in my protein shakes. I put it in my protein ice cream. I mean, it gives it a little tiny bit of protein, but also like I just love the taste of nut butters, like peanut butter and all that stuff. But then because it has these mix-ins, you get like a little dash of Oreo cookie or fruity pebbles or dried banana clusters and stuff like that. Like it's just good, man. It's
Yeah.
good stuff. And it's nutritious.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nutritional value to it. So get some Fit Butters. Um, onto our Discord giveaway of the week because I've been giving away a Blu-ray every week. This week is a Steelbook Blu-ray copy of Mockingjay Part 2, and that goes to Stungies, who just joined the Patreon. So welcome, Stungies.
Bungies.
Congratulations. You
Long
get a
time,
Steelbook.
long time supporter of the
Long time
Dorito
supporter.
family.
Next week, we're going to talk more about next week's episode. But next week, on top of the Christmas giveaways that I talked about, the GFUEL, I'm giving away this copy of Violent Night, which I just saw a set photo. They are filming a sequel. So
Oh wow.
very cool. Yeah. You got to watch this on your Christmas break, Chris, because it's fun. David Harbour's awesome as Santa.
It's on Voodoo.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, join the Patreon for $1 if you want access to these giveaways. Under our Patreon questions, I believe we have 4 of them. Again, if you join the Patreon for $1, for as little as $1, you can ask a question or topic, and have it answered on the podcast. Super Dude 01 says, if you were a Dorito, what flavor would you be? Nacho cheese.
Cool Ranch.
Nikki asks, if you could have one last meal, including a main course, a side, a drink, and a dessert, what would you pick?
Oh man.
I think I already have my answer because I've thought about what my last meal would be, just because that I've seen like there's like a YouTube
Yeah.
series,
I
yeah,
think
where they have
that's
like
a
actors.
Good Mythical Morning like channel has that, right? It's like Good Mythical Kitchen has that.
No, there's a guy, some chef. He has like it's called like last meals, and I mean they will literally have like 5 or 6 dishes from
There's,
different places. It's
that
crazy.
there must be multiple channels that do it then.
Oh, I saw Post Malone, Tom Hanks, a bunch of people do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Jesus.
a lot of people choose In-N-Out Burger, which is funny. Uh, okay, I would have a Chipotle burrito. My side would be chips and queso. As a drink, it would either be my last sip of G Fuel, or I don't know. I like Chipotle's Coke Zero reminds me of the Coke Zero from Cinemark, so I would go with that probably. But as a dessert, I think I would just smash like half a dozen donuts or something.
Can you
Love
fit that
donuts.
much food in your stomach, bro?
I am sad to say, when I was very depressed living in San Francisco, I would like look at the food, like realizing like when I take the trash out, like I ate that much food in 3 days. Fuck, I'm a slob.
Well,
Like a couple pizza boxes and Taco Bell and they had a Taco Bell right next to a Popeyes, and sometimes I would be like,
can I get both?
oh, Popeyes they Popeyes like fries everything to order. So I would be like, okay, this is gonna take a while. I'm gonna go in, get my Popeyes meal, and then walk over to Taco Bell, get a Baja Blast and one of their meals, and then I would freaking I lived in Daly City, which is like right by, it's like, I don't know, 10 minutes away from the San Francisco airport. and it's up in the hills, so it would get foggy all the time, and I have so many memories of like driving just like little windy road in the fog to get Taco Bell. Like
I don't think I've ever driven in fog that's that thick. Um,
it
that
sucks.
must
I
be
hate it.
scary. Um,
I mean, I think what desensitized it to me was flying in fog because that is claustrophobic,
yeah.
you know?
Um, well, before I forget, so I would do Olive Garden for like two
Really?
parts of that meal. So I would get the lasagna Frita
Okay.
with the Olive Garden breadsticks. Um, does that count as a side? Because it's like an
Yeah.
appetizer or a side. Okay, and
Did you,
then uh, the ravioli from there. No sauce. I don't like sauce. I'm not a sauce guy. No sauce. Okay,
so
just straight
just
up rat.
noodles and cheese in them?
Yeah, I like the Olive
The
Garden
tortellini.
ravioli. Um,
I don't know if I've
and
ever had the ravioli.
I mean it's just noodles and cheese. Um,
Are they breaded?
no, well, are you talking about like are
I
they
like
fried?
yeah,
No,
I like lightly fried breaded ravioli. That shit's good.
no, it's like it's just the regular like pasta. It's not fried. And then as far as dessert would
What
definitely be
drink? Did you choose a drink?
no, I'll do that last. The
Okay.
dessert is going to be the chocolate cake from Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's a good choice.
Um, and then as a drink, this 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 is this is probably what's gonna like if this is my last meal, this is why I die. Okay, um, so I'm gonna have that chocolate cake with a freaking milkshake from Dairy Queen, a vanilla milkshake.
Oh, I didn't even think about a milkshake. A cookies and cream milkshake. Oh man.
So yeah, if I die, it's gonna be because of diabetes.
Dude,
Uh,
at some point, maybe when we have a house, you have to come visit, and I gotta take you to Flex. They have such
yeah,
good milkshakes, man.
yeah.
They have really good cheeseburgers too,
I need to visit.
and their French fries are insane. Probably the best French fries I've ever had in my life.
I need to visit you guys, and I need to go to Texas as well. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that's my last meal. I
Yeah,
probably
that
wouldn't finish
milkshake was a
it,
good
but
choice.
what's the next question? What we got? What we got?
Stungies asks, for content creation, is it better to be yourself and authentic or create a persona that appeals to the most people? And how does that play into your time off stream slash content? Okay, so
I think it depends.
I would honestly say if you can do both. I think it's very important to showcase your yourself and be authentic. Because I've seen a lot of content creators complaining right now about how they did a persona or they did a specific series that they just like ran into the ground. Like they just did it until it didn't work anymore. And they feel like whenever they post something authentic or personal, nobody cares. And I definitely think it's the opposite for me. If I post something that's genuine, authentic, like I'm like, hey, this is just something that's going on in my life that I felt like talking about because you guys are like family and I want to be transparent with you. Those videos tend to do well for me. And it's I don't know. It's what the end of your question is really interesting, Stungies, because what I've noticed is that when I meet people in public, they like I mean anytime somebody meets anybody who's like got some kind of online presence or something like that, they usually are like, yo, you know, you're that guy, this and that. Um I've had a lot of people have that reaction and then like I shake their hand and I say thanks for watching, all that kind of stuff, you know, like or they like maybe ask me a question or something. And then they're usually just like, you're just like a normal chill guy, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I just, you know, like I'm just a normal dude who just, you know, I just happen to like not be afraid to embarrass myself on the internet, I guess is the way I would look at it. And I mean, I've kind of strayed away from the over the top persona that I do just because I got tired of doing it, man. And I also didn't only want to be known for that.
We're
'Cause
gonna try
I
this
do
week's crumble cookie menu.
gonna try this week's crumble cookie menu.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, baby.
yeah, baby. That's what we
I mean,
should do, man. If I go over
I
there, we
like
gotta
having
do.
cats races, but
We'd have to do a crumble cookie review, and then people are gonna think that I'm Theo. I'll have to like wear his glasses. Dude, we
yeah,
should do that. Holy crap.
should do something with that.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I find it really interesting that that when I meet people, they're like surprised to see that I'm just like a normal, chill person. I meet a lot of filmmakers who know that I do social media and they've seen my Instagram. A lot of people, a lot of filmmakers are like, "Yeah, I see your stuff on Instagram, man. You're like really good at doing like the YouTuber voice kind of stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." And then they're like, "But you're like the most chill guy. Like I wouldn't expect you to be so chill." And I'm like, "Yeah, like I just like to chill and watch movies." You know, like I'm just somebody who really likes movies. And anyways, to answer your question, Stunjies, I think striking a balance between the two is very important. And I think
Yeah.
it's only gotten more important as more people have started doing characters and outrageous things. You know, like I think showing that you're a normal person with normal feelings and normal problems is a good reminder to your audience that like at the end of the day you're just a living, breathing, shitting human being. You know, like I think I am also guilty of like when I meet people that I look up to or like actors that, you know, like when I met Tom Hardy, I was just like,
Starstruck.
he's just a chill guy. Like he just really likes jujitsu and like
I
acting.
didn't
You know
know
what I mean?
that.
Like, yeah. It's like Austin Butler is one of the nicest people I've ever met, man. One of the nicest people I've ever met. And like, I don't, when I met, his name keeps escaping me and it pisses me off because he's such an inspiration to me now. Um, when I met that director, I legitimately felt like I was talking to like Ben or somebody like that. Like he
Oh
talked to
wow.
me like he talked to me like a fellow filmmaker, not like Jeff Nichols. He talked to me like a real human. He wasn't like I've met some people and that I'm not gonna name that I don't know. They talk to you like they're just waiting for the conversation to be over. You know,
Yeah.
like they just want to keep to themselves. They're over it. You know, some people I don't know. I think it depends on how you look at it. Like some people look at fame as like a burden, whereas like I don't know. I tend to look at fame as because I don't think I'm famous. People tell me I am, but I'm like I think TikTok famous is very different than being famous. Like you can go up to some random old man on a bus and be like, "Yo, you know who this is?" And it's like, "Yeah, that's Joe Rogan, the Fear Factor guy. You know, the UFC guy." I think if you show my picture to someone. Like I did the Fortnite dairy ad, right? Where it's like, hey, it's me, Danny Dorito 23, and I'm playing this Fortnite
Someone's like,
map.
who?
People, yeah, people are like, who? Who are you? You know? Um, and so I don't know. I look at it as like whenever I meet people, it I try to remind myself that they probably have seen a lot of my content and know me better than I think they do because they're a stranger. You know what I mean? Like I think when I meet like famous, actual famous people, they tend to be more private, you know? So it's like I don't like Joe Rogan is different because you listen to him talk on a podcast for 4 hours at a time. But I mean, meeting Austin Butler, it was like I've only seen a few interviews and stuff, you know. I don't really know what he's like in person. Or Norman Reedus. Norman Reedus was so like calm and quiet and like I don't know, like you look at Daryl on The Walking Dead and you just assume he's gonna be more like that, you know?
Hmm.
Um,
Well, that's the thing.
yeah,
He's
no,
in
it's
freaking is. I always didn't remember. Is it Death Stranding or it's Death Stranding, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, that's such a like because I know
I need to play that,
he's
man.
from The Walking Dead. I would have never thought like, oh, he's gonna be in this video game. And so when that happened, I was like, really? Okay, like maybe it's just like he's doing it for the paycheck. And then people were like, no, this game's really good. And I'm like, oh, he actually tried.
Just like a director's cut.
Yeah.
Crazy. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I can definitely see how like there's been times where it's like, ah, fuck, you know, like we went to this store and they didn't have the milk we wanted. So I'm like gonna run to the store late at night before they close real quick. And I get stopped by a cashier and they're like losing their mind. And it's like, bro, I just want to get the milk and go, you know? But I try to keep in mind that like that little interaction might be the highlight of somebody's day, you know? And
Yeah, that's a good way to
so
put it.
I always try to stay humble about it. And I mean, there are times where I'm like, I'm gonna put a hat on and put my hoodie on and like try to hide. Like there are times where I'm like, I just want to get in and get out. I'll admit, but
You gotta have a disguise, bro.
dude,
Mustache.
Brad Pitt said he totally wore a disguise. Like he like had like like a fake nose and shit. Like just because he wanted to like not be noticed. And I'm like, that's crazy that like actors go to that length to just like experience life like a normal person for a day, or a few hours, you know. But I can see why they would do it. Um, Anyways, that was a really long answer to your question, Stungies, but it was definitely an interesting one. But yeah, if I would say anybody who's trying to get into content creation and approach it from like like a persona to be engaging, but also like personal, like I would say split it 50-50 and you'll cover all the bases. And I think that's the reason why I'm still able to make content to this day, because people feel like they're a part of our family. You know, they care about what's going on in our lives just as much as they do me trying Taco Bell nuggets, which are delicious, by the way. Holy shit, they were so worth the wait.
This guy.
So good. Tommy is our last question. He says, "What's one Christmas movie you can watch on repeat and never gets old?" Jingle All the Way, or A Christmas Story.
I feel like Home Alone.
That one too. Yeah, there's three of them for you, Tommy. Those I could literally like just have them on a TV during Christmas and like
Yeah,
just get lost in moments here and there, you know.
yeah. Either that or what's that like
Polar Express is a good one too.
the stop motion Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer thing?
Oh, I
That
fucking hate those movies, man.
really?
Yeah, they give me the creeps,
You
man.
don't like the Heat Miser, Snow Miser song or anything? Wow.
I don't mind the music. I just don't like the way that it looks because it's just like I don't know. There's something off-putting to me about it.
Somebody totally just locked their car. Did you hear that? I heard honk honk.
Yeah, I didn't know if the mic would pick that up. That's funny. Um, Anyways, thank you guys for your questions. Those were really good questions. Again, join the Patreon if you want to ask yours. On to our weekly Black Ops 6 talk.
We've
I'm
both
not
been
gonna
playing it
lie.
less. Both of us have been playing
Well,
it less.
I've been playing it less because I've been so busy with the TikTok shit. That is so time consuming. It like I think I spent one day I spent like 6 hours doing that, man, and I was just like over it. And I was like, I could hop on and blow off some steam, or I could just like shut my brain off and watch a movie.
Yeah, I've been playing
Um,
Fallout 4 lately because I don't want a game where when I go into it, I have to sweat for, however many hours.
yeah,
That's when I'm
something more
playing games.
casual.
Yeah.
Sorry, my trash can fell over.
Because, dude, when we were playing Stakeout today, it was like every other match, it was like people throwing smokes and using the freaking Pancore jackhammer the entire time. And I'm like, can I like get into a match with people who just like are running around and shooting like to get camos? Because at least then there it might be a little bit more fair because someone's using a freaking sniper and they're struggling and I'm like, yeah, I'm struggling too, bro. We're in this together. Like we're on opposite teams, but
Yeah,
we have the same issue going on, you know. But no, oh, I want to use Pancore jackhammer with incendiary rounds and I want to throw smokes and I'm like, I'm not even having fun anymore, dude. Like you're getting 80 kills in this match. It's a TDM match. That's like
yeah.
2/3 of the kills for your freaking team.
Some
Like, especially in
people
hardcore
are
as well.
definitely sweatier than others.
Why would you do that in hardcore? Like, go do that in core, because
I don't
hardcore, it's
know.
like people are gonna die instantly anyways. You're just getting people
I
pissed
don't know.
off.
I will say I think this game has made me play hardcore more than others.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's interesting
a
how
big part
I've
of it's
gravitated towards it.
definitely because of the
The
camo
time to
grind.
kills, yeah. Well, yeah, that too. It's so much easier to get headshots in hardcore. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the podcast, I upgraded my RAM, which was something I talked about doing a couple months ago. So I went from 32 gigabytes of RAM to 128, so now I can have like 1,000 tabs open.
Dedicated wham.
Yeah, I sent Ben the. I'll show you guys what I got. I sent Ben a picture of this, right? And he was like, let me read what he said because it was so funny, dude. Uh,
Too bad it's DDR4. Haha, loser.
he said, "Oh, let's fucking go. You can edit a feature and stream and play Call of Duty at max settings while exporting another feature in Adobe Media Encoder with that. That's insane." And he's like, "I didn't even know 128 gigabytes of RAM in one installment of RAM was even possible. God damn." And I said, "Yeah, man, fuck proxy files."
Um,
um,
yeah, but what do you think of this new Christmas event? Do you?
very disappointing.
Yeah,
I think I mean there was some kind of bug or whatever, and I think they're just like, whatever, we're not gonna fix it. But there's those, what are they called? Jolly something?
Jolly Archies.
Yeah, so it basically they got this little, like, it's almost like an advent calendar, but instead of being an advent calendar, it's like you just
Dude,
exchange these Jolly Archies for them. And when I updated my game and went in to see the event, I already had 250 of them. Or I think like 270 of them, and that was enough to get like 13 out of the 14 of them unlocked already.
yeah,
So I was like, well, that was a waste.
yeah.
Like there's no grind there, I guess, you know. So
I
they
think
fumbled it.
I think an advent calendar would have been better. I think Fortnite does
That's
that.
how Fortnite does it, where you
Yeah,
open the presents. That's actually like, yeah,
yeah,
I prefer that.
yeah. I don't know, and I get like the whole point is to make you play, like instead of just logging on. But uh, I don't know, man. I do like
They
that
fumbled it.
I like that they are trying a different thing for every event, but I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like
yeah. No,
this
this is probably
particular.
my least favorite event out of the
Yeah,
ones they've done so far. I really liked the one they just did with the gobblegums and
yeah.
the XP grind.
Now
I think that's my favorite
there was
way to do it.
some other Call of Duty news that happened. I don't know if
I
you saw
saw.
anything about it. You did see it. So
Yeah, I didn't look into it too much because I didn't care that much, but
there in Black Ops
interesting.
3 there was a DLC called Zombies Chronicles. And
One of the greatest DLCs ever.
yeah, and that one had like the original four maps plus four of the maps from Black Ops, or three of the maps from Black Ops 1 and one of the maps from Black Ops 2. So it had Origins, Moon, Shangri-La. Um, what else did it have? Oh, actually, I guess it had nine maps, didn't it?
They got to be doing something like that for
No,
this
oh,
event.
they didn't have the giant because that was at the beginning of the game. So it was the three of the maps from World at War, four maps from Black Ops 1, and then they had Origins. So um, like everybody loved that because it was, more content. You had like pretty much every zombies map in one game. Black Ops 2 was actually going to do that, and they found like a pre-alpha build of all this stuff, including a pre-alpha build of Origins, which was
I saw that. Yeah,
fascinating. The map layout, like the back half of the map, was supposed to be like a whole village that you would go through, and I was like, God, I wish they kept that because it looks so cool.
I
Um,
love the atmosphere of Shinonuma.
of Shino Numa, are you serious? Well,
Yeah, like that's like dark and jungly.
the only thing that I liked about it was the freaking 115 rock that's sitting outside. I remember they had a whole thing
Yeah.
where they said that you could you could shoot the Wonder Waff at it and it would refill your ammo. I remember that was like I remember I went and tried it and I was like, why doesn't it work? And then I looked it up
They
and
lied to you.
I was like, I got lied to like 8 years
Got
ago.
bamboozled.
I was like, I got lied
Goddamn
to so long ago.
bamboozled.
But the thing is, so what I found interesting, Keynote or Toten, okay? If you go on Black Ops 1, you'll notice there's a lot of flags from the Germans from World War II. There's just a very specific symbol on there that is no longer present in Black Ops 2. So that might play into why it didn't get released. It's because they were busy trying to replace that and they didn't really have it figured out yet. So it may have caused some delays. But it's very jarring to see the Black Ops 2 guns in Black Ops 1 and World at War maps. But people were bringing up the idea of like, dude, think about the butterfly effect this had because there's no way they would have done a Zombies Chronicles DLC for Black Ops 3 if they'd done it for Black Ops 2.
Yeah, like I said, I really hope they do that for this game. I think
I
they
don't
could really benefit from
I
doing
don't
some kind of. Why would they not do that again? It was such a success.
Why didn't they do it for Black Ops 4 or Cold War?
I don't think they did it for Black Ops 4 because that game was a total nightmare development, and then Cold War they ended up doing last minute. This is the first time since then that they've actually like had a full game cycle.
I mean, I would like to think that they could do it because they there's been rumors about some classic zombies mode where
Just
it
bring back
was.
transit, god damn it. I love transit.
Well, you know what's funny is they actually said that they one of the files they found was a pre-alpha build of Transit, but they can't get it to work yet. So there might be some pre-alpha footage of Transit, and you could see what it was originally supposed to look like. And if they can find that, I think it's really going to be interesting. But
Yeah.
bottom line, there is a different universe where we would have had all the maps up to Black Ops 2 in one, except for Call of the Dead, I think, but in one game, and that would have been really cool to see. Um, it's just if you go and watch the footage of it, it's very very fascinating. But yeah,
Well, like I
that's
said, I think this is my it's my favorite Black Ops since Black Ops 2 personally. Um some people have said Black Ops 3, but I didn't play that one that much.
those
But
are all
I
the
definitely
zombies
like
fans talking right there.
I like the zombies a lot in this game. So,
Yeah. Um,
I wonder what the next map's going to be, man.
it's supposed to be a dig site, so they're saying it's going to be Origins 2, and I'm like,
We'll see.
um,
I will be playing.
let's talk about some drones, dude.
Yeah, so East Coast drone phenomenon update. It seems like the consensus has become um that it's people fucking with other people by flying their
Yeah.
drones. And I think there's some truth to that. I do think that it's weird that we're seeing a lot of videos of these orbs and stuff now. I don't know if you've seen that.
No. Well, I think I saw like a couple, but I don't know. I My only thing is
I think it's a distraction.
it doesn't quite explain them being flown over military bases.
No, like people are saying that they think there was something fishy going on at first, but then when it kind of got sensationalized, like it turned into like, well, I got a drone. Let's fuck with people in our neighborhood by flying
Yeah.
something around. Like that's funny. Maybe we'll end up on the news. Um. So yeah, I don't know. There's definitely some like fuckery going on, but I think it'll be interesting to see if it continues or just kind of like just dies all of a sudden. Because I don't know. There was a video from a couple days ago of something very strange flying around the city here. Like the lights were trippy looking. So, um, I don't know, man. I definitely, I think there's some things like Joe Rogan posted something. There's some stuff that can't as easily be explained, but
There is one thing we don't have on the sheet here, like a news story that I did want to talk about. Did you? I think I sent it to you. Um, Apparently, Russia has a cure for cancer. I'm like, what the
yeah,
heck? Yeah, they have an mRNA vaccine that's supposed to treat cancer, reduces tumors
supposed to yeah,
by
shriek.
75 to 80%, which is going to make them easier to operate on. All I got to say about that is I can't believe that we have the cure to cancer before GTA 6. That is ridiculous. Apparently, the vaccine's also going to be free. So,
I don't know. I
uh,
looked at the comments on a lot of those news articles, and people are like, "They've been saying they had the cure to cancer for the last 30 years."
yeah, but if it's going to get rolled out. So, if we hear bad stuff happen, then we know why. And if we hear good things happen, then we
Yeah,
know why.
this is
Um,
how I Am Legend started.
Was it actually? I need to watch that because the only thing I
It's a good
remember is
movie.
something about like
Will,
the
Will
dog.
Smith's Will Smith's family actually dies because of the Coast Guard in the movie.
Are you serious?
They get in a Coast Guard helicopter, and the pilot turns into a zombie, and they crash. It's literally like the same model helicopter I
You're
flew
like,
on.
ooh, that doesn't
I'm
look
like,
good for us. Ooh.
oops. It was like
um,
Air Station Brooklyn, which doesn't exist anymore.
I wonder why.
No, no, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Dude, I still can't believe that happened. But did you see that I think Chris Rock was talking about the whole United Healthcare situation, and they were like, "You're a bigot. You're a piece of crap."
I really hate this whole thing, man, because I like it's wild to me, and without getting into it too much, I get why people are like, yeah, stick it to the man, but it's like, bro, you fucking murdered somebody,
Yeah,
and you
I
guys are like
know.
celebrating,
Well,
like you don't want to sensationalize something like that because that never goes well
I
because it's going to encourage people who don't have like any good motives to like do that kind of stuff too, thinking they're going to be sensationalized,
yeah,
you know?
I will say, they are giving him a charge of like terrorism or something like that, which is a little ridiculous because he murdered somebody. He didn't like blow up a building or something. Like I feel like that's probably a little excessive. I think a murder charge is probably all that's really necessary, but still, like the situation is
They
very
probably
extreme.
want to make an example out of him.
Maybe the argument is that because he set an example that it's going to
Bro, you're
cause
like
people to.
barely on camera right now.
They can see me. Whatever, man. It's been a long week, all right? Um,
Half your camera view is just a blank wall.
well, yeah, yeah. But anyways, maybe that's why they're doing the terror charges is because he's setting an example, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, killing people is not good.
Yeah, don't kill people. That's not
Yeah,
that's not cool.
don't murder people
Unless
no
it's
matter.
like Hitler or
It's
something.
that is illegal. Whether you have good intentions or not, that is illegal.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Um, last big topic. Just wanted to talk about the holidays because it's holiday time. We wish you guys a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you guys celebrate. All right. Thank you guys for like just watching the podcast. I mean, it was one of those things that we had been meaning to do for a long time, and to bring it back and see that there is an audience there and the Patreon and everything is has been really heartwarming. So, um, I know I'm thankful for you guys this Christmas, and we do have a special guest in mind for episode 65. Should I say who it is?
I feel like we already talked about it, didn't we?
I
think
don't
so.
know.
Thought we
It's
posted.
Electric Shock.
Yeah,
Electric Shock's gonna be on, so we're definitely gonna talk about GFUEL and probably Cybertrucks.
definitely a
Um,
Cybertruck for sure.
yeah. We are also planning on having Jorge on for episode 69.
I'm so glad that I said something about
Bro,
doing
he's in
that.
Miami right now, and he's just like his posts cracked me up. It was like a story post, and it was like a cocktail with like two straws in it, and he's like, I don't even know what they brought me. Fuck it.
Dude, that guy is so crazy, man.
He's just living his best life
yeah, I
right now,
know,
man.
man.
Um,
Yeah,
let me see. I have like a thought I made like a note that showed like guest ideas.
Jorge's the
Maybe it's
goat,
on.
bro. He's so funny, man.
It's so. He posted like him getting on like a some kind of boat or whatever, like a ferry or something, and it was like empty. And I sent him like I don't know if you remember Blazing Saddles.
I do not.
So it's like an old movie with like who's the guy who plays Willy Wonka, Gene Wilder, bunch of. It's like
Oh,
an iconic
it's
old school
okay.
comedy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of politically incorrect jokes in it, but there's this one guy who shows up. He's like, "Hey, where the white women at?"
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah. So I sent him that with like the emoji like yelling. Oh man,
That's what that's from. I didn't know that.
yeah. Where the white women at?
Add that to the list. I get. You know what? I'll write that down. It's called Blazing Saddles.
I haven't seen it all the way through, but
I'll add that
it's
to the
pretty
list,
funny.
man.
It's very satirical.
Well, Gene
There's like
Wilder did a
there's like
lot
a
of movies like that. What's the one where there's like he like walks into a store and the guy's like blind? Like I've seen clips of
uh,
that one.
yeah, but back to the because I don't want to get too off topic with this. So Electric Shock episode 65, Jorge episode 69. Do you know who French Toast Poppy is?
No.
So he's this guy on TikTok that I'm friends with, who does these really funny skits. A lot of times he'll like post like somebody doing something ridiculous on TikTok, like just bonkers stupid, and then he'll just be like, "What was that?" Like, and so I'm pretty sure if I reached out to him, he would join us for an episode. So I'm planning on reaching out to him to have him as a guest for episode
French.
70, and I think that'd be cool.
Look him up.
French Toast Poppy, really funny guy.
I mean, it sounds
French
familiar.
Toast. I wonder
I
what popped up.
he popped up for me on TikTok. Yeah, I have
Yeah,
not. I have not seen
that's
his stuff before.
780,000 followers.
Yeah.
Uh, Comedian based in Omaha, Nebraska, right?
I think so.
I think that's
Ma-
Nebraska, but I think it'd be cool to have on.
Mountain
Cool
Dew
guy.
sommelier.
What?
It says Mountain Dew sommelier.
No. But yeah, let us know in the comments if there's any guests that you would like us to reach out to and see if we can get on for a chat. That's pretty much it for this week. Before we go, our recommendations. What do you got?
So I'm gonna recommend a YouTube channel called The Thought Emporium. This guy does. I think he has a whole team, but it does a lot of wacky experiments. Like there's one that I just saw today where he took the those like it was like the dinnerware that was like radioactive, like the Fiesta plates and stuff like that from the 1930s. He took
Yeah.
that and he's trying to see if he can. I didn't finish the video yet, but he was trying to see if he could like do X-rays just from the radiation from that alone. He has a project that he's working on where he's trying to grow uh, like rat brain cells to make a computer that'll play Doom.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
This guy's a mad scientist.
cool, nerdy stuff. Yeah, he does some really cool stuff. So, yeah, go check him out on YouTube if you're into that kind of stuff. I definitely am because I'm weird, but yeah, that's my recommendation.
Netflix dropped a surprise hit. They released this movie Carry On, which has Jason Bateman playing a bad guy. So it's kind of like Die Hard meets Phone Booth, or like he's talking to him on with an earpiece the whole time. So like he's like, "What are you doing? I see you." Like if you do that, I'm gonna start killing people. Like it's one of those like kind of like thrillers. But it takes place on Christmas. I was
Oh,
surprised how like I don't know what the right term is, mature, graphic, whatever you want to say for a PG-13 movie. Like I was like it didn't feel like the PG-13 rating really like hurt it. Um, it's Taron Egerton is the main guy. So like from Kingsman.
mm.
Um, and Tetris, you need to watch that.
Yeah, that's on Apple TV,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but yeah, no, it's just a really solid, fun Christmas movie. It's a little ridiculous, but it's very entertaining, and it's one of the better streaming movies of the year. I think it might be my favorite streaming movie of the year. So I give it a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which for a streaming movie is really good. Like I just watched Jackpot, which is
Hmm.
this John Cena movie where it's like the near future and California has a lottery, but the catch is that you have until sundown to kill the person who wins, and then the person whoever kills them gets the lottery. So it's just like an excuse to have a
It,
lot of cool stunts and stuff.
it's
But
it's like the
it was
Purge mixed with like
it was too cartoonish in its
yeah.
like action for me. And then I watched Brothers last night. So Jackpot is one that like if you just like John Cena, maybe give it a watch. Like it's pretty dumb, but it was entertaining enough.
What's the show
Some cool
that he
cameos.
had for DC?
Peacemaker season 2 is
Yes,
coming soon.
I need to watch that as well.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. And then I watched Brothers, which was Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage as brothers. It was like a modern take on twins, and that was barely watchable. So can't
That's
recommend that one.
sad.
I give it 2 stars. Like it was competently put together from start to finish, but I mean it was just so stupid that it was like I don't even care. And Josh Brolin is giving like an actual performance. I was like, without him, I literally wouldn't have probably made it through it. So, great cast. Just I guess bad director. I don't know. Just didn't
Mm.
translate well. Because it felt like a Coen Brothers movie, but just never really stuck the landing on any of the quirky humor. But yeah, check out Carry On. I recommend that one for sure. That one's on Netflix, and it's just a fun time. Don't go in expecting like a I guess an accurate representation of the TSA because apparently like it doesn't all make sense. But Jason Bateman's good as a bad guy, and it has a good budget, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll see you next week. It'll be I think the 28th, so
Yeah.
Christmas will have passed, but we'll be getting ready for New Year's. I can't believe 2025 is almost here. This year flew by, man.
Yeah, man.
Like kind of scary how fast it went
Yeah.
by, but
I can't wait for the part of the year where Menendez blows up the USS Obama. Um, I'm sorry, a stupid Black Ops 2 reference.
USS Obama. Um, Jesus, guys, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Get yourself some GFUEL, get some Fit Butters, join the Patreon, join our Discord for free. Um, go Danny D. I had those Taco Bell nuggets, man. They're so good.
Jesus.
I'm gonna get some more for sure, man. Go check out that video too, because I thought it was a pretty good video. Have you seen it?
What, the Taco Bell one?
Yeah.
I posted it today, but I didn't watch it yet. But I can watch it
Um,
afterwards.
whatever. Anyways, happy holidays, guys. Have a good one.